It's morning. Good morning, folks. Let us see what bounty has been bestowed upon us. Oh, I do not know how to check any of this thing's vitals. Fuel tank's empty. Good. Yes, empty's good. Empty's good because I brought diesel. Oh, and I hear it. It's an alien spaceship. Hide. Oh my gosh. Just keep going. Just when I get my beautiful Unimog, that thing shows up. No. Hello and welcome to the Last Man channel. You're joining me for another segment of Apocalypse Talk, where we talk about what kind of a society we would set up in this barren apocalyptic wasteland that we see in The Long Drive, right? So, let's talk. Now, the last time you were with me, we found this garage, which we're hoping is full of good stuff, right? We also found, let's see if it's still here. Yeah, we also found this disembodied human hand, which seemed like a bad sign. So, we'll see. Now, something else, though, that's really pretty exciting is that I thought we were just going to have another little discussion about, society. But turns out today a new update dropped for The Long Drive. Every once in a while they happen, and they're usually pretty exciting. This one has a whole new, kind of car in it. Not that. It looked to me when I saw the little promo like maybe we will run into like a pickup truck, like a flatbed truck. Wouldn't that be cool? Probably runs on diesel. I know like very little about it. Okay. Wow. This. Oh, it's a very full garage. Sometimes when they're this full, what you get is like a crash. All right. We knocked over a bucket. That's what all that pouring noise is. It's still kind of leaking out. A lot of gas. We might think about it. Some coolant. I would love to find a better radiator for this Skoda we're driving. By the way, this looks like an older Lada, uh, which is basically a Fiat that was commissioned by Eastern Germany. Ooh, I see it. I see it. Look, we have a better tank. Yes, I got distracted from my... Whoa, easy, rubber band man. I got distracted from my talk about, Fiat and its complicated relationship with communism. Because we found a better water tank. Maybe I'll just do a whole different episode on the cars from this game. It's a pretty fun subject if you ask me. And if you're watching this, you might think so too, for all I know. All right, we're going to fill up the new coolant tank from the old one. Now, the old one was full when we started driving, but look, 4.1 liters, that thing was leaking. So this is good. This is good. New and shiny, it won't leak water. Beautiful. Nice. Talk about Utopia. I don't need a perfect world. I just need a really nice radiator in my Skoda 100, right? And then I'm good. I am good. But let's get greedy and dig around anyway here. Empty. Wow, if all these are empty, I'm going to feel a little cursed. Nope, we got some oil in an oil can. What do you know? Diesel. Tempting, gas and oil mixed. Tempting to take a little diesel with us. We're doing it. That's right. I know we can't actually use diesel, but what if we do run into one of those cool new trucks? Right? I mean, I don't know about you. Oh, Jiminy Christmas. Let me out of here, Lotta. I don't know about you, but I'm going to want to be able to see what it's like. Oh, what? No, don't drink the diesel. Gee. Sometimes. Sometimes. I mean, I know it's the apocalypse, but why do we have a death wish? Why are we drinking diesel? Come on now. Oh, we really could use some more gas. We're going back in. Oh, lordy. Like a treasure trove of stuff nobody asked for. Hey. Ooh, ooh, easy, easy. A lot of shake, right? All right. Mm-hmm. Nice. It's good to have good tires. You know, the car just drives better with them. Shocker, right? Oof. And there's some bad tires on this one. Is it worth going back into this death glitch bunker of random stuff? I don't know. Yes, it is. Look at that one. Look at that beauty. Hello. Worth it. Oh, ooh, yeah. Right? Which one of these were we sure was pretty crummy, really? This one. This one. Pretty sure. All right, so let's say, theoretically, in this update, we came across people or something, right? We were going to try to establish a new, better society. How would we do it? Well, we talked a little bit about Plato's ideas from the Republic. I think it's time to move ahead. We're going to move up the timeline, and we're going to talk about somebody from the late medieval period. I know, exciting, right? Cutting edge stuff. Last minute, news flash from the late medieval period. You know what? I'm not going back in that garage. That was so glitchy. I just don't trust it. Skoda, away. All right. Let's talk about Sir Thomas More. Also Saint Thomas More, because the Catholic Church decided to make him a saint after he was basically martyred for his faith in England. He was a really staunch Catholic, and that wasn't a very good thing to be in Anglican England at the time. And he was really stubborn about it. He just wouldn't give up that whole Catholic thing. So, and he very publicly held out. So he was put to death. Actually, he was executed. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about his ideas for a better society. And they were really progressive for the time, because More was pitching ideas that wouldn't really come into favor until much later. I mean, we see the founding fathers of the U.S. signing, the Declaration of Independence with words like all men are created equal and stuff. But, the Europe of More's time, it was still very much, centered on monarchies. Those long-standing bastions of power that had a lot to lose and came down hard, obviously, in More's case, on anybody who challenged them. But More did it. And here, we're going to talk about some of his ideas. We're going to see if we would use them. If we ran into a busload of survivors out here in the desert, and we decided to have ourselves a happy little school field trip with them, and we ran into some place we wanted to set up camp and start civilization afresh. Game is being a little glitchy. I'm a little worried it's going to glitch out on us in the middle of this conversation, but we shall see, right? We shall see. Why is this car so hard to drive right now? I put better tires on it. It should be better, not worse, but nope. Anyway. Yeah, so More's ideas. Well, some of the revolutionary ones are that he thinks democracy is good. In fact, he thinks it's so good that he has a very democratic state in mind. Here's how he pitched it, though, right? He decided to kind of play it cool by writing a fictional account of this guy whose impronounceable name starting with an H I have forgotten. He says that he meets this guy in Antwerp, right? This kind of like bustling commercial center in Europe. He meets this guy who just came fresh off the boat from this island called Utopia. And this island of Utopia is covered with these 54 different like cities on this island. And each of them is kind of its own little city state, but they're all pretty much alike. So he decides to just describe for more the one in the middle of the island. He's like, I'll just start with that one. Its name starts with an A, and I've forgotten it. But I really should have brushed back up on the Utopia. But I think I can get us through this. Okay, hang in there. Names aren't important, right? So this guy talks about how each of these city-states kind of runs itself. I mean, has a lot of autonomy. Does the island as a whole function as a unit? Yeah, but kind of like the members of a family function as a unit, they still have like some self-determination. You know, dad, mom, sister, brother, they all kind of get to make choices for themselves too, and that's how the city-states function. But each of them was highly democratic. So, I mean, there were some kind of obvious material selling points. This guy says that, you know, in Utopia, everything's really sturdy, really made to last. Really, all the public works are well made. You know, paved roads, stone bridges, all of the households. Everyone gets to live in these kind of high quality 3-story household structures, which at the time 3 stories was kind of a big deal, right? That's some engineering. There's that. As kind of one of his pitches is that everybody gets to kind of have like serviceable, nice, reliable public works. And everyone gets housing, and that housing is acceptably good, right? But the other thing that we would find in Utopia, according to Moore, is that each of the households votes for someone to represent them. And this person represents like 30 households. So a group of 30 households votes for a representative. That representative is overseen by somebody else who's above them. And then above that second tier of representative is the main guy, right? Now the household representatives are elected, and the this kind of council of representatives above them that they report to is also elected into office, right? The elections are held every year, so they're annual, which means, you know, there can be as much turnover as needs to happen. But there aren't really term limits, from the sounds of it. And then the main guy, who the council reports to, and who is elected into. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Hold up. Who the council elects into place. He's appointed by the council, kind of like a government of representatives, the way that, you know, the U.S. functions, right? And he's elected for life. Now the council can remove him if they suspect him of trying to seize power for himself. Any main leader of the island who seems to be attempting to kind of gather the reins of power for himself, he can be punted, you know? I don't know. Recalled, impeached, whatever you want to call it. Moore thought that both of those things, the elected for life and the impeachability, were very important. Yeah, that's better, right? He thought they were important because one of the major selling points for monarchy at the time, one of the more rational selling points for having these families in power and having power handed down through heredity and that kind of thing, one of the major selling points was that it's more stable, right? I mean, that's what kings and queens at the time would have said. We promote stability. If you didn't have, you know, the predictability and stability of these kind of these hereditary positions that are for life, then you'd have all kinds of instability and infighting. You'd have all kinds of people thinking they should be in charge if it's not obvious who should be, and then you'd have anarchy, and life would be dangerous and nasty. So I think the reason Moore thought the main guy in charge should be appointed for life is so that his utopia could also claim to have the kind of stability people wanted. But that it would have that very important caveat that if that stability turned into tyranny, that the people's representatives could reverse it, could just pick somebody else who's not greedy and power hungry, right? All right, we got ourselves a gas station. I think we got to check it out. Always got to look for gas, you know? What will we find? Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. You know what? Let's sleep. Let's check this out in the day. So far I bet you're with me. If us and our busload of survivors decided to set up a new society, I seriously doubt we'd be talking about who should be king for life and then whose kids should rule after them. There's a really good chance, like more, we would think we should do things by vote. Things should be democratic. We should elect people. Look, the trailer's got a redesign. They got all this reflective stickering on them now, huh? Cool, right? Gas. Good find. Always happy about that, right? Let's just take this back to the car right now. Um, so far I bet you're with me and more about this. Okay. Now, the thing is, Moore thought though it was a lot more than just monarchy that was standing in the way of, an ideal society. For Moore, there were other problems that he saw in the Europe of his day. For example, okay, and this one. Okay, now let's start with the stuff that obviously makes sense to you and me. One of them was that he thought it was silly that women of his time were treated kind of like these trophies, these possessions. They were kept as a sort of status symbol in households, but they weren't allowed to actually do any work. And he's talking, of course, about the Europe of his day and age. Um, he saw that basically 50% of the population wasn't being put to work, and how can a society make enough for everyone if half of them are kind of sitting out the thing? And he knew that women weren't necessarily wanting to stay out of the workforce, right? So in his Utopia, we got some gas. I didn't see much else. Did you? I didn't. I think it's time to move on. Cut our losses. This gas station gave us everything it could. So he thought men and women should both work. They should both be out there pitching in, right? I think so far we're with him. Democracy, equality of the sexes. Huh? Pretty good so far, right? Um, then he might start to lose you a little bit after that, because the other problem he saw was that people were another wasteful thing was that a lot of people in Europe were engaged in making luxuries, these sort of trivial conceits, elaborate jewelries and gowns and things that only the top 1%ers could afford, but that took a lot of resources, a lot of time, a lot of special knowledge and training, right? Um, and he saw that as kind of ridiculous because who needs some kind of elaborately crafted, pearl necklace that was got at great expense when those same amount of resources could have gone toward, feeding a whole nother household more easily and better or something, right? For a long period of time. What a waste. So for him, vanities like luxury items, they should be done away with too. And if you're going to do away with luxury items, and have everybody wearing just kind of basic serviceable clothes, then to really be rid of that, though, you have to get rid of more than just the luxury items. You have to get rid of private possessions altogether. Like, I think you can see where he's coming from. The idea is that if everybody is pitching in and being productive and focusing on, things that work versus things that are just flashy to be more efficient, then those same people can't be fixated on what they own and don't own, or they will be, they will be comparing each other to one another. They will be comparing how nice their things are to other people's things. So the whole concept of private property for more needed to be done away with too, because that kind of vanity, those kinds of conceits would only corrupt the purpose and the vision and the purity of the people within his, utopia state. So no private property. Okay? And to help with that, no money. Because where there's money, somebody can get a lot of the money and then they basically have private property, right? I mean, it goes hand in hand. So for more, you don't have money. You have basically just a system where the necessities of life, food, clothes, shelter, are handed out directly in proportion to everybody who pitched in and worked for it, which is everybody. So, for more, we don't need we don't need money. We don't need private possessions. We just need everybody to kind of do their fair share. And then what happens is, with such an efficient, model, guess what? People don't have to work as much. Because in the Europe of his time, if I was a farmer, I was, if I was some sharecropper essentially that was, that a lot of the poor farmers were at the time. I'm making everybody else's food, but I'm being treated like a beast of burden, like some kind of pack animal, worse maybe than the livestock, right? And and I'm working long, long hours to try and make enough food for the portion of the population that is either being sidelined because they're by society because they're women, or who is focusing on making. Turn off. There we go. It didn't want to stop running. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang or Herbie the Love Bug. Of course, it's a Skoda, so it'd be more like Igor. Igor the Love Bug. Right? The Love Bug. My Russian accent's just not on point today. But you know what is? Look what we found. Gun. Bam. Alright. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a gun. So if anything new comes at us in this update, we're ready. Yeah? What else do I have? This? Do we need the spray bottle? Nah. Nah, we don't. We don't. Mm-mm-mm. We don't. Here we go. That's why we check the watchtowers. Is it creepy that there are abandoned watchtowers all over the landscape that have things like binoculars and guns in them? Yeah, it is. It's off-putting. In the same way that finding disembodied human, limbs is off-putting. Feeling pretty good about where we're at here. All right, but let's talk a little bit more about the perfect society. If we and our busload of friends that someday we may run into in this game set up shop, democratic, yeah, maybe we do agree to all pitch in equally. Sure, that sounds pretty okay, right? Maybe we all agree to do away with fancy, frivolous vanities, right? Maybe we don't wear jewelry. Maybe we don't have, fancy clothes. Maybe everybody just. Okay, I'm sorry, but this is just death here. To drive into the sun when I can't see, we would have hit something. Right, now it's fine. Well, for 2 seconds we would have hit something. All right, high beams and we're good. All right. So anyway, but here's the thing you may take even more issue with, okay? See, but follow the logic. If private property is bad, and then really owning anything is bad, right? And in fact, if we're going to be very public creatures, living for the state, living for our community, um, then anything we have to say about our community, our very democratic community where we all vote, anything we have to say about it should be said, in public. If we talk about public things, we should talk about them in public, right? I mean, Moore didn't like people talking on the sidelines, so he thought it should be like a capital offense in Utopia for people to talk about public things privately. And in fact, just basically having any kind of private life at all was a little iffy for Moore. So none of the doors in Utopia, none of the doorways in Utopia have doors in them. Those big, nice three-story houses just have like open doors. Anybody can come and go. Can't lock things, right? Just you got nothing to hide because you and everybody else owns the same stuff. You don't have any private stashes. You aren't in your place talking smack about other people or what should be the case. You weren't making like handshake deals in the back room to secure power for yourself or to hoard resources. So what do you have to hide? Utopia, right? Sounds like paradise, right? All right, he starts to lose me there on the no privacy thing. Um, but does he have a point that would be nice if everybody who had things to say about public policy said them in public and didn't have sneaky dealings together, form cabals and cliques and that kind of thing? Yeah, that'd be nice. So, sure. Um, so we don't own fancy, flashy things. We don't have doors. But what we do have is everyone pitching in, working equally, not committing all their time to frivolities. And you know what happens, according to Moore, and he might have a point here. People don't have to work as much because we're being way more efficient at producing the things we need. Clothes that need sewing, basic items like tables, chairs, stuff like that. People are just getting around about the task of making it. Men, women, everybody. They're all pitching in. And when everybody, pitches in, does their part out in the garden and stuff like that, we grow more food faster. People are kind of done with their day. And according to Moore, on on Utopia, the workday is like 6 hours long, which in terms of late medieval Europe was bragging because anybody in the working class worked a lot more than 6 hours a day, and they didn't have much to show for it. In Moore's Utopia, we work 6 hours a day, and everybody's full. Everybody's belly is full. Everybody's got a nice roof over their head. Everybody's wearing presentable clothes, and no one is ashamed or in poverty. No one is a second-class citizen. That doesn't exist. Everybody is respected and gets a vote, right? This isn't sounding so bad when you look at the alternatives for the time. And if you're not a fan of corruption, if you're not a fan of greed, if you're not a fan of exclusion and cliques, if you're not a fan of exploitation, if you aren't a fan of uh, unrealistic body stereotypes and things like that promoted by, ooh, there's a house, promoted by vanity, um, and that kind of stuff, well, then you might actually be a fan of Moore's Utopia, written a couple hundred years before our founding fathers even started to come close to this kind of vision for people, right? All right. We got to check out a farmhouse, but we don't have to check it out in the dark. That always creeps me out a little bit. As a matter of fact, if we did do something that society didn't like, if we did something punishable and criminal in Moore's Utopia, let's say we were griping about the way things should run privately behind closed doors instead of publicly in the forums like we're supposed to, right? if we were a criminal, and there wouldn't be very many according to Moore, then they would, what use would they have for vain things like, gold and silver, which don't have a lot of actual inherent value, according to Moore? Well, uh, that's new. That object is new. I'm not sure what it goes to. It doesn't go to this lot of wagon. I like that the trailers have all this like reflective stuff on them now. That's pretty great. This not great. We're seeing a lot of disembodied human remains and not much else in this place. I mean, thank you, place with disembodied human hands. That's oil. I don't think we really need oil. We're carrying some oil with us. This has got some water. We could probably use that. But first, let's make our car shiny. First let's do vain pursuits and be inefficient with our time. I think maybe Moore has a point. Still gonna do it though. The thing is, if I were a criminal in Utopia, what they would use the gold for would be chaining me up. They would make chamber pots, in other words, toilets, out of gold, and they would make the chains for criminals out of gold because that helps send the message that that's how important gold is. Just not important. That's how important. I think I need to drop something. So I guess we'll drop this sponge. We will pick up this water, and we'll go do something actually useful, like a good utopian. We'll focus on function, right? We're gonna... Oh, stop. I'm gonna fill up our water tank. And you know what? It's not gonna leak very much because that's in such good shape. Yay, us. Drinking. It's the first time this guy has drunk water and not like diesel or something ridiculous. All right, that's all I saw of much use here. We don't need a trailer. I know what you're thinking. Ooh, pull the trailer. You don't want to see me do that. For one, that trailer had terrible tires, so it would have been just a nightmare to tow behind us. And for two, we don't have anything we need a trailer to carry, and they do mess you up when you're driving. You know? What is that? What is that? What? Oh my gosh. What? No. Look at this. What did we find? What's in this thing? 155 liters of diesel. This thing could be towed. I mean, not by our Skoda, obviously. Look at you. Should we see what happens if we try and hook it up to the Skoda without any tires? Yeah, we should. Moore's great and everything. But, in the interest of science, I think we have to try this out. Can we do it? Oh yeah. Okay, sure, right? This is totally doable. You know it. Better take the e-brake off. Don't want anything slowing us down. That's all she's got, folks. You know, we are moving. I had to try. I mean, I had to, right? It doesn't look like even with tires, this thing could really pull it down. So much diesel. I feel like it's that scene from Mad Max where he's like, "Oh no, there's a truck that could hold that tanker," right? We come across a truck that could pull that, we're going back for it. And then our Utopia would be set for diesel. Yeah? Totally. I'm excited. Thank you. Long drive. Updates. Fun. So, something to think about when we run into our, busload of friendly survivors and all of us want to start a new civilization together. We're going to have some ideas for this new society, right? And we're also going to know where there's a tanker full of diesel back there if we could just get some tires and a truck. So, yeah. If I did find a truck and manage to haul it back to that tanker, as Mad Max would say, then I'd start keeping like a weather eye on the horizon for Lord Humongous and his horde of BDSM clad apocalypse warriors to come rolling over the hill, because it's starting to feel straight up 80s level apocalypse, and I love it. Loving it. Okay. Well, guys, next time we'll talk some more about what the perfect society might be. We'll look for some more cool new update stuff, right? Maybe we'll be able to improve our Skoda. Maybe we'll be able to trade up for something way cooler. We'll find out together, okay? Till then, we'll just see you next time. Well, folks, talking about society is all well and good, but I'm excited. I want to find one of those trucks. You know? I mean, Sir Thomas More and the Utopia, great, 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 great. But what about a little Mad Max, right? What about we find a rig that could hold that tanker? Oh, oh, hallelujah, Twin Towers. What have you brought me? Oh, it's my very own Unimog. I am so happy. Oh, oh. Oh my gosh. People, I have to inform you, I've been driving for an hour looking for one of these, and there that beautiful bugger is. Oh, it's so good. It's so good, but oh, we're gonna be patient. We're gonna sleep. We're gonna wake up. We're gonna check this thing out in the light of day. You and me. Bam, first look. It's morning. Good morning, folks. Let us see what bounty has been bestowed upon us. Oh, I do not know how to check any of this thing's vitals. Fuel tank's empty. Good. Yes, empty's good. Empty's good because I brought diesel. Oh. And I hear it. It's an alien spaceship. Hide. Oh my gosh. Just keep going. Just when I get my beautiful Unimog, that thing shows up. No. So pretty. Just keep moving, buddy. Oh my God. We can take the doghouse off. The oil tank has oil. I brought some oil, but it's got plenty of oil. Okay. The cone tank is empty, but that is all right. That is all right because it looks like it's there and it's in good shape. Guess who came prepared, people? That's right. We have oil, water, and diesel, baby. Oh, 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 oh. I am a happy man. Yes. Fill her up. Mm, mm, mm. Happy. Okay, well, do I wish I had found more diesel than just 14 liters? Yes. It's so beautiful. Look at this. We can haul so much stuff in here. Oh, oh yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Who's next? This is the water, huh? Okay. 10 liters of water. Good thing I brought so much. It's double the usual amount of water. And this doesn't look like the same diesel that's in the bus. Okay, sorry. Yeah, it does not look like the same engine that's in the bus. You know, I hope it really takes diesel and not gas. Oh boy. But you know, it looks like it should. It looks like it should take diesel, right? Right? I'm not crazy. Since when would something like this have had a gas motor in it? You know? Nah. Oops. Okay. I feel like servicing the oil in this thing is kind of a pain. But hey, we gotta get me up in here. This reminds me of my F-350. I had a big old four-wheel drive F-350, and that thing you had to jump into. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, we found such a beaut. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's got a rough panel or two, and this back tire doesn't look right, you know. Okay. 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 Are you ready? I mean, I'm ready. I am ready. Woo! Ever since this game came out, I've been wanting a Mad Max rig like this. Heck yes. Look, it's got like a spot to stand up. It's got like a lid. That's what we kept seeing in those garages, was this like machine gunner roof. Love it. Love it. All right, I want to put this sponge down. And I have to do... Can I close the door from here? Nope. This thing's cab is massive. I love it. I love it so much. Woo! I mean, so much. Yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, do we need tires? Yeah. We good for everything else? Sounds like it's running to me. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness, yes. Oh, okay. So, hmm. Oh, so, it's kind of, it's kind of showing the whole bad tire thing is, it's kind of showing. Because, she's real top heavy. And right now, she just kind of wants to swerve dangerously. And I know from experience that you can roll even the low center of gravity cars in this game. So this thing will roll. This thing will roll. Oh my gosh, what a beast! What a beast, though! I seriously doubt it would have gone that fast under its own power. That was all about the downhill. Wow. Yes. You know, in this series, we talk about being able to rebuild society. This is the kind of rig that will do it. Right here. Oh no, a rabbit in the road. Oh, watch out, bunny. I do not feel bad about hitting the killer mutant rabbits. Oh my gosh, people. This is such a historic moment. Such a historic moment. And we actually saw the trailer that this thing could pull. It was a tanker. It was a tanker full of diesel, but it was so far back that I can't really justify going for it. Oh. Ooh, that evening sun go down. This really has nothing to do with the Faulkner short story of that name, but I mean, I had to say something. Wow, can you tell how pumped I am to be rolling across the wasteland in this military beast? This beautiful Unimog-inspired monster? Oh my goodness. It's enough to make me want to turn hostility back on so that the rabbits come for me, because I am pretty sure this thing's bumper would just eat those rabbits for lunch. Oof. I know I'm just filming driving a Unimog, but I am in love. Hold up, hold up. Uh-oh, no, no, no. Okay. All right, so, uh, it's really, it's really best if we get some new tires. Wait, what was that? Regular. All right, well, you know, it's, it's not a, it's not a corner carver, not a handler, and with two of the absolute most dilapidated tires I have ever seen, it's a bit of a handful, but we can fix it. We can fix it. And now we're living the dream. This is so perfect. All right. This is so perfect. I love it. Yeah. I mean, look at this beast. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Oops. Honestly, if you gotta be, uh-oh, easy now, easy now. Come on, let's do this. If you gotta be rolling in hardware from Russia, I mean, pick the hardcore military stuff. Am I right? What is cooler than this? Oh my gosh. The long drive gods have blessed us. This is awesome. This is awesome.